I had to sneeze right quick, but what's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm here on the Schneel, and I'm here to talk about some NBA news here on NBA Central. And we're going to some stuff here to talk about. Probably talk about some stuff from Woj and Chance if we find any here to talk about. So let's get right into it. So the first thing I want to talk about here is Pascal Siakam's name is heating up on the trade market. So it seems I've heard this before, but now it's starting to heat up again. Per Michael Grange. Yeah, I had to yawn. But yeah, I'm sure I'm sure it is heating up on the trade market. Look, the Raptors should just trade Siakam. I mean, you just get some young players or get some draft picks for the future. Or just blow it up, because you're not going to win with this current core. So I think you should just move Pascal Siakam. I don't know what the trade would be, but he clearly said he wasn't re-signed with that team, because I feel like he's a one-year rental, and I would love to see him join my Warriors. But he said he's not going to re-sign anywhere. Plus, Toronto, I guess, doesn't do trades for some reason, because I guess teams have offered trades, but they won't accept them. And people say, "Oh, they don't do crap trades," but Toronto doesn't do trades at all unless it's a minor trade or a fleece. Every trade rumor is like, "Oh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that." It feels like. So Jeremy Grant is a future player to monitor on the trade market, per Mike A. Scotto. So remember, Jeremy Grant just signed that 5-year, $160 million contract extension. I covered in day one of the NBA news. So he said, end quote, "Another trade candidate to monitor down the line will be Jeremy Grant, who agreed to a 5-year, $160 million contract extension deal with the Blazers before the team received word that Lillard wanted out of Portland. He was expected to draw interest from several teams in free agency, including teams such as the Detroit Pistons and Indiana Pacers. So those are some teams that are going to draw some interest from Mr. Jeremy Grant. I don't know that with that contract. I don't think he's going to be able to get traded. I don't think teams are going to want to take on that 5-year, $160 million contract extension. They didn't think this one through, because what trade market? Who in their right mind wants to take on that contract? People say, "Oh, it's not a bad contract. It's playing on an all-star level." It is an awful contract. Kind of a waste of money, in my opinion. But they were probably under the impression Damian Lillard will stay there, so that's probably why they signed Jeremy Grant to the extension, but now that he's left, he might get traded in the line, but I just feel like nobody's wanted to trade for that contract. I think Jeremy Grant's a good player, but I don't think he's worth 5 years, $160 million, and I don't think teams are going to want to trade for that and take that on their salary cap. So per The Athletic, the Utah Jazz are expected to show interest in Damian Lillard. Per The Athletic, can this duo make some noise? Question mark, eyes emoji. Be serious for once in your life, man. No, they ain't making any noise. They'll be good, but I don't think they're going to make any noise in the Western Conference. Because y'all know that ain't happening. I feel like Dame would rather stay in Portland at that point than go to the Utah Jazz. And I'm pretty sure Utah isn't high on Dame's list. It's probably actually not on his list. He'd probably rather stay with Portland than go to the Jazz. And I bet Dame doesn't have interest. But if these two teamed up, yeah, this is probably a playing team at best still. So Tyler Hero, he has removed the Miami Heat guard from his bio, and he's changed his header. I think his time's starting to come to an end in Miami. This is a telling sign. He's removed the Miami Heat guard from his bio. He's changed his header. I feel like they need to keep him, but I feel like they're going to move him soon. I really do. Because I feel like he could be part of a 3-team trade sometime soon, maybe. I don't know. So, Brooklyn and San Antonio, here are potential landing spots for Tyler Hero. Are these good fits, y'all? Wemby and Hero, though? I thought that'd be a good fit for Hero. Because you have Hero, Wemby, Vassell, Johnson. So that's a good fit. The Spurs, it's a good culture, amazing fit. If that did happen. So Damian Lillard is prepared to only play for the Miami Heat, and his stance is Heat or bust per Sam Amick via TheAthletic.com. Quote, he wants to compete with Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo to grow out inside that farmed Heat culture system under Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra while becoming the final piece of the championship puzzle. What a shock, another Damian Lillard tweet from NBA Central. Well, if he doesn't get traded, he's probably going to go back to the Blazers. If he didn't trade to the Heat, I feel like it's going to be a bust at this point. But I feel like he's gonna go there. But just every single time we keep having to talk about this. So some teams that are interested in Malik Beasley per Mike A. Scotto of HoopsHype.com. Sixers, Suns, Raptors, Mavericks, Bucks, and the Warriors are teams interested in Malik Beasley. Quote, Lakers free agent guard Malik Beasley has drawn interest from the Sixers, Suns, Raptors, Mavericks, Bucks, and Warriors. League sources told HoopsHype. Beasley led the NBA in three-pointers made off the bench last season and is a career 37.8% shooter from beyond the arc. Yeah, he's gonna be good. He's gonna be good again as soon as he leaves the Lakers. Just watch. He'll be a good 3-point shooter again. But the moment he puts on another uniform instead of the Lakers, he'll be hitting 3-pointers like he was nothing. He's just crumbling under all the pressure. Now that he's going to another team, possibly he won't have as much pressure. Watch him now shoot like 40% with one of these teams. With one of these teams here. Radio host blast the Mavericks for re-signing Kyrie Irving. Quote, this spells the end to Luka Doncic's time in Dallas. What does this even mean? Tim McMahon on ESPN just said Luka was in contact with Kyrie and wanted him to basically re-sign. I feel like they still aren't a bad duo. They just need to improve the roster, but besides those two. They need better players. The Blazers are looking for a third team to send Tyler Hero per Jake L. Fisher. Hero with the contract of his only makes sense for a rebuilding team. So the Brooklyn Nets are among the teams that have been contacted as a potential third team to land Tyler Hero. So we talked about him as a potential fit. I'd rather see him go to the Spurs than the Nets because I feel like that Spurs culture is a good fit along with Victor Wembanyama and Keldon Johnson, a bunch of young talent. The Heat would prefer to keep Caleb Martin out of any Damian Lillard trade scenarios. Is this a joke? Be serious, man. Like, what the fuck is this? I may be stupid, but at least I ain't, the Heat, owner, Heat GM and Pat Riley. Okay. Damian Lillard's been in communication with the Heat players over the last few days, so he's been in communication with probably some of the players like Bam, Jimmy. So that tells me he might be going to the Heat soon. Maybe we'll just have to wait a few days to see if a trade does get finalized. And also, he expects the Trailblazers to make Damian Lillard happy. Chris Haynes expects to send him to his preferred destination via NBA TV. I'm taking the Miami Heat really seriously. According to Pat Beverly on his podcast, he said he's signing with the Sixers according to himself. That's all from Mr. NBA Central. See if we got anything from Adrian Wojnarowski. A New York Knicks guard, Josh Hart, has committed to the final roster spot on the 12-man team, Team USA FIBA World Cup team this summer in the Philippines, sources tell ESPN. He joins his Knicks teammate, Jalen Brunson, on the American team. So that's your last man on the Team USA squad. Your guards are Brunson, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, Austin Reeves. Your forwards, Paulo, Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, Ingram, Jaren Jackson, and Cam Johnson. Centers, Walker Kessler, and Bobby Portis. This is kind of, I don't know, I feel like it's kind of a mid-team. But you got some good players, though, like Halliburton, Edwards, Bridges, Jaren Jackson Jr., Kessler. But this team, I don't know, I feel like this team's going to get cooked, because this ain't really that good of a USA team compared to previous ones. Free agent center Cody Zeller, yes, Casper the Ghost. Or, I'm sorry, that's Duncan Robinson. Cody Zeller has agreed to a 1 year, $3.1 million deal with the Pelicans. Ooh, Heat fans are celebrating this. ESPN sources. Charlotte Hornets restricted free agent forward Miles Bridges is preparing to sign a $7.9 million qualifying offer for the 2023-24 season, clearing the way for him to become unrestricted next summer. Hornets and Bridges are far apart in extension talks. Well, Miles Bridges is back. We're gonna have a criminal back in the league. It's horrible that he still has that qualifying offer still on the table, and we're just letting this man back in the league. It's wild. But he's now officially signed the qualifying offer. His agent, Rich Paul told ESPN he'll be an unrestricted free agent next summer. Last thing I want to talk about is Oklahoma City's acquiring guard Patty Mills as part of a border deal through Houston. Sources tell ESPN the Thunder will receive draft compensation to take on Mills' $6.8 million expiring deal. I don't really like this move. I don't know why they would do that for. I mean, he's a decent player, but I wouldn't trade for him. But yeah, that's really all I have to say for this video, though. So, until next time, Peace.